Swagger. I've come this far on trust. Lord help me, my mind is stressed. I'm a mess. Lord help me. Open the window up into my heart. I can do nothing without you, oh God. I'm praying, I'm saved by your grace. And I'm a heathen who believes I need a healing from this mess. It must be a test, Lord help me. Hey. 10 p.m. at night, and I am still gonna get this thing going. I got folks waiting on me in the Madison Cheesehead State where it's cold and freezing. Taibu Muad'Dib, man. It is You're a Mess, the relationship podcast that helps you come out of a mess, avoid a mess, and hopefully we'll find you something healthy. In the 2023 year, we're going to do some sports casting. We're going to do some matchmaking, and we're going to do some relationship counseling just for you. I want you to get used to these funky sounds. These beats are free on YouTube. The guy, his name, he calls himself Buddha Vibes. Buddha Vibes Productions. Shout out to that young man for putting down some music that YouTube won't censor. Right? So I can get funky. Got a little flow for y'all. But tonight, we're going to look into The Wait Is Over, Time to Grow Up. Thinking Through Thursday, where I tie in how social justice issues affect the way we treat each other as a people. Shout out to my man, General UT of the original Black Panther Party for making sure that I had a day on my podcast where I kept it all the way real. If you're a revolutionary, if you're looking for something different, tonight's for you. I'm getting my cup full. I like a full cup. Shout out to everybody that supports the podcast from the beginning to the end. People like Shay Houston, everybody. People like Tony, a.k.a. Big Walls, Corey Drum, Don Rico, and the whole fam. You know what it is. Taibu Muad'Dib right here, doing it real big, getting that cup full. We're going to make it happen without question. Let me switch over to the beat. Got the relationship game on lockdown. Let me let a couple of y'all in here real quick. I know that many of you are waiting to get in to the studio. So I'm going to invite some of y'all to jump off in here. When you get the link, come on and jump off in here with me. I know it's late, but that's okay. All right. I put my Let's Go on there. When I used to play Madden with my little brother, that's what he would say when he would make a big play. But I think he said that because it didn't happen that often. But shout out to little brothers across the country. Let's go. Taibu Muad'Dib here. Ooh, that was way too low. Taibu Muad'Dib here. Shutting down the industry. iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Soon you'll hear You're a Mess everywhere. The Breakfast Club gonna call me up, and I'm gonna tell them no. I'm not gonna come on the Breakfast Club unless I can bring my shame bag. I want to shame Charlemagne. Ooh, he's a mess. But he's getting it together. Shout out there for everybody out there that's taking care of their mental health illnesses. I mean, I don't know the guy personally. I don't know why he calls himself the God. pretty funny looking, weird looking guy, like a black Mr. Magoo, right? But fan be keeping that radio jumping. So shout out to him, his career, what he's put down. You know, people don't make it to that level of their career in the game unless they're putting in work. So much respect for that man and what he's done. Even though Birdman really made him famous when he went up into the studio and checked him. So, nobody knew about the guy until, I didn't know about him until Birdman flew up in there, told him put some respect on his name. Shout out to the 5-star generals out there. All right. So 10 o'clock, here we go, putting it down. Late night hour. You're a mess late night. Who's going to jump in here with me? We're going to see. Even if no one does, I emailed myself some stuff to talk about the wait being over and how that's gonna look as far as our families growing up. You know what I'm saying? So, what does that really look like? The family growing up, adults and youth alike. What does it look like when the family grows up? The wait is over. No more kidding around. We as a people, as a community, are going to grow up. What does that look like to anybody? I'm going to do some screen sharing. What does that look like to you? I'll wait. Get in the comment section and tell me. The wait is this week. The teaching is the wait is over. It's time to grow up. All right. I'm going to jump off in here. I've been sharing stuff all day with people about the African community and what we need to do for our kids and for ourselves and how we integrate ourselves into a society that's pretty much left us and locked us out of it. So the first part of growing up means accepting the situation for what it is. It doesn't matter how you look, what your body type is like, where you come from, your economic background. You have to accept the situation for what it is if you intend to elevate. You have to accept what you have to know what you start, which is what you're working with. If you want to develop yourself, add skills. You want to develop your mind, add knowledge. Simple as that, people. In the home, if you want to develop your relationship or raise your kids to develop themselves, then I'm telling you right now, like that's where it's at. You have to make sure that's where it's at. I'm going to go as far as to say, if you're having issues with your morality, with your character, add the Bible. And I know a lot of y'all out there are going to be like, the Bible? Why would you tell people to add the Bible? Taibu Muad'Dib. Well, Muslims read the Bible. Buddhists read, everybody reads the Bible, bro. There's just eternal knowledge in there. No one's refuting that. I don't care how much against the Bible you are. If you read the Bible, it's going to tell you basically how to get yourself together. Also, I don't know of any other written material that is as personal and intimate that tells you flat out that you are somebody as the Word of God. And y'all like, who's God? Not my God. That's your God. Look, any deity that you have faith in and cannot know beyond your faith, that's God. That's God. So we're all praying to the same deity if there is one. It's a joke to think that there's 1,000 of them. It's just one God. One. Now, to the families in our need to grow up. On Thinking Through Thursday, are we as a community behind everybody else? Are we? Y'all tell me, I don't know. Are we as a community struggling mightily without any advocacy. Like, who's sticking up for us? You know, Russia invades Ukraine. The whole world's like, oh, Russia's so wrong. Who's sticking up for us? Who's sticking up for us? I'll wait. Crickets. Crickets, huh? Who's sticking up for us in reality? I used to have a lot of time to invite a bunch of y'all to my shows. I used to have a lot of time to do this. I did. And not having the time to do that, like I'm seeing how important it is to work hard and have that organizational situation going on, because it takes about 20 minutes to invite 30, 40 people, good quality messages, reaching out to folks, about 30, 40 people, 20 minutes. And that being said, like, I appreciate You're a Mess even more, because when I'm sending these messages out, when people hop in, I know that that's our moment. Think it through. That's our moment. That's why I go hard. That's why y'all hop in on the last 10 minutes of my show and I'll go for another hour with you, because that's your moment. That's your moment. That's your moment. Prime time TV and cable. Just want to make sure that I make it clear. Tonight, we're really going to get deep into why it's important to grow up now. Let's see. Why is it important to grow up now? All right. I'm going to go and look at this article, and then we're gonna look at some Malcolm X stuff, because see, X, what he was doing was he wasn't afraid to shed light on the problem in the African community, and he wasn't afraid to call the European power structure out for being the perpetrator of putting most of our people in that situation. Okay, so you look at it, and I'm trying my best to get this out there. Let me see. I'm just gonna go to it, and then we're gonna go from there. So yeah, he tried his best to shed the light on what was happening with us as a people, in a sense where, in a sense where he basically talked about the European male like he was the criminal. Y'all have to realize that in the whole history of the country, whether it was Asians, the Europeans did something to, or the Native American, no, they haven't been held accountable. If you read the deal, with the what's it called it, if you read the deal, with the Nelson Mandela and apartheid, you'll realize that those Europeans down there were never held accountable for their crimes either against the people of South Africa. So Malcolm X on American soil was the first African man to directly characterize the Europeans as criminals. Now, when you read the African Messiah versus Government Scum, you will come to understand that when you read this book, I'm not so much calling the Europeans criminals as I'm just basically saying that at the rate that we're going, we have to consider that they're at least not telling us the whole truth and nothing but the truth about what's going on. And when you're the controlling class, if you don't have that kind of transparency, you're basically a tyranny. You're basically a dictatorship, why you call it democracy and the greatest democracy on the planet. So I don't have to call the European a criminal when I can simply point out that he's lying and shouldn't be trusted. Not with our lives, not with our livelihood, not with our pursuit of happiness or our freedom. In fact, he can't be trusted, which is why to date, that's why we still haven't gotten it as a people. As a people, we still have the proverbial foot on our neck. As a people, we still have the proverbial foot on our neck. Now, why is that a big deal? A lot of you may be wondering, like, why is that a big deal? Look at how we treat each other. I mean, we have to live life as if, there is no tomorrow because there might just not be. In America, if your skin color looks like mine, you can drive through a different town, know your rights, but not have them afforded to you. Law enforcement will kill you, hang you, shoot you, beat you, and claim that they feared for their life just because their skin color is a different shade. And what makes white pure and Africans dark skin, melon skin not pure? Aside from them saying it, aside from the English language associating whiteness with purity or the color white with purity. What makes it pure? People don't know that after the world was conquered, the Europeans made the North Pole above them and called the South Pole or downward below Africa, even though the correct history is that the Sudan is north of Europe. It's all something that y'all have to look into. African people genetically and geographically were always above Europeans. That's not how you act. That's not how you view yourself. You come up viewing yourselves as people deserving of losing their lives in a traffic stop based on running a red light, rolling through a stop sign, having a brake light out. And it's so ridiculous because Europeans commit crimes too. There are more of them, so they're committing more crime. But you don't have African cops not seemingly being able to stop brutalizing European citizens. Why is that not the phenomenon? If I have not been a wayward youngster and been in and out of jail, I'm telling you right now, I might end up being a cop. And I guarantee you, I would have squeezed every European I caught, slipping. Squeezed them. But you don't have a record of this rampant police brutality from African, and there are many African police officers and police women. policemen and women. I'm telling you, you don't have this whole rampant. We catching them on video shooting and killing unarmed Europeans. You don't have that, which is why I went in on the Africans that wear a badge. Not only are they not giving it to them, and you have the authority to do it. Europeans aren't disappearing. Oh, officer so and so pulled that European lady over, and we never heard from her again. It's people run away. It's no big deal. Shoot, they're gonna pull every camera that person. They're gonna ping his phone, pull every camera that he was close to. They're gonna find out when he did what he did. With the European cops, I mean, let me tell y'all something. When I was a child, I watched Mississippi burning, and I was thinking, oh, good God, I'm glad I'm not living in those times. Then mess around and grow up. I live in Texas now, shortly before I moved here. Some lady cop just kicked the door in of somebody else's crib. I can't make this up. The lady cop kicked the door in and smoked that fool, saying that he startled her. Have you ever heard of such a thing? I startled you by jumping up in my own house because you kicked my door in? Can't make this up. Can't make it up. Right? What do you do? These things are happening. So it's time for us to grow up by simply accepting things are for what they are. Let me screen share something with you guys. All right. Let's get this going. All right. The breakup of Black family imperils gains of decades. Breakup of Black family imperils gains of decades. Now, this is me just reading what the paperwork says. I am not going to continue to use the word black. I don't use the color coding. They know who we are. We know who they are. All right. At the height of the civil rights movement in 1965, when a quarter of African families with children were headed by women, a quarter at the height of the civil rights movement, Daniel wrote in a report to President Johnson that this growing matriarchy was an important cause of poverty among young Black Americans. So what they're saying to you sisters is y'all could have solved this problem a long time ago. I kid. It ain't like that, lady. Y'all know I rock with y'all. I do. It says 18 years later, which is today, right? Booyah. Virtually half of African families are headed by single women, and 55% of African babies are born to unmarried mothers. Man, y'all don't know how deep I'm getting right now. Half, only 18 years later, half. All right? Half of African families are headed by single women. What am I to do? Gunshot from the Monahan experience, authorities were reluctant to speak about the problem. But now politicians, African and European, liberal and conservatives, live by, okay, all right, okay, finish that shift out. Well, aside from the growing alarm, many African spokesmen are saying for the first time this is one of the most serious problems facing their communities. And it may mean that larger and larger portions of coming generations will grow up disadvantaged. The problem must be resolved because otherwise, society at large will have to pay the price, either in compensatory measures to prop up fractured lives or in strife and social conflict as the gap widens between the privileged and excluded. Mm, mm, mm. Let's stop right there. Let's stop right there and let's check it out. All right. So the problem is single and unwed mothers. That's what it says. Single and unwed mothers. All right. Having children, households without men. It leads into generations and generations being born disadvantaged financially, emotionally, mentally, just not prepared. Right? Babies having babies, and it keeps going. But the wait is over. The wait's over. 2023, gotta do something fresh this year. Right? Gotta do something different. Got to. And so, what I want to propose is that you guys show up to the show, speak about the things that matter, and then we'll circulate these things so that people can see the discourse about what needs to happen and how we need to grow up. I'm going to go over here and look at my inbox and look. Special guest for y'all tonight, man. Special guest. Definitely want to get it popping for y'all tonight. Okay. All right. Now I got to go and check and see.
Freedom, justice, and equality for the 20 million black people that are so-called Negroes here in America. Into any of these places of business, and he'll have to admit that he is treated with more respect in America and was used by the slave makers,
Check
slave
it out.
traders, and slave masters and attached to the property of the chattel or merchandise that our people represented, and says improper for a black person or the so-called Negro in this country, as we're taught by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to walk around with these names, and therefore he teaches us that during slavery, the same.
Now this is good. This what y'all need to hear right here.
And he has nothing to do or no connection whatsoever with the name Murphy. And if it doesn't look proper,
Let's try to get this together.
so a Chinese person were to say his name was Patrick Murphy,
All right.
or merchandise that our people represented.
All right. This is a good point that he makes. Screen shares with y'all so y'all can see. It's time The wait is over. It's time to grow up. All right. Present this real quick. Let's see.
in that particular day.
Mr.
Listen to him,
O'Connor.
y'all. Listen to him.
What is your real name?
Malcolm X.
Is that your legal name?
As far as I'm concerned, it's my legal name.
Have you been to court to establish
I
this?
didn't have to go to court to be called Murphy or Jones or Smith. Excuse me for answering you this way.
That's
If
all
a
right.
Chinese person were to say his name was Patrick Murphy, you would look at him like he's insane, because Murphy is an Irish name, a European name, or the name that has a Caucasian or a white background. And a yellow person, Chinese is a yellow man, and he has nothing to do or no connection whatsoever with the name Murphy. And if it doesn't look proper for a person who is yellow or Chinese to be walking around named Murphy or Jones or Johnson or Bunch or Powell, I think it would be just as improper for a black person or the so-called Negro in this country, as we're taught by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, to walk around with these names. And therefore, he teaches us that during slavery, the same slave master who owned us put his last name on us to denote that we were his property.
And so all y'all walking around acting like y'all proud to be a Smith or proud to be a Houston or a Rhodes or proud to be whatever your last name is, Sandridge or whatever it might be. If you act like you proud to have this last name, right? If you act like you proud to have these European last names and you're not a
Thomas.
European individual, it is what it is. So this is straight from Brother Malcolm. Go ahead, Don Rico. The People's Choice, Don Rico, everybody.
What's up, man?
Welcome to the show.
Hey, you definitely right. It's a lot of people naive to these names and don't know that the name you got, Thomas Smith. They be like, "Oh, Smith, that's a black person name." No, you don't even know your history. Them are all slave owner names that they gave the black people. That's what it was.
So what you're basically saying is when you name your kids, if you don't do your if you don't do your if you don't do your research, all right.
Make sure. Right. It said, man. Yeah, it's for men and just like this too.
What Don Rico is saying is if you don't do your research, what you're doing by naming your kids these slave masters' last names is you're basically saying we still, belong to them. We're still property. Like how many decades and generations does it need to go down before we realize, okay, we're free now? Now, the man's question, did you go to court to establish a last name? Now I think about that. That's kind of deep. That's kind of deep because I did go through a process that involved a judge that announced me as my new name. So I have mixed feelings about that question that he asked Malcolm X. I do. Because making it official, putting it on your documentation, your paperwork was a big deal to me. When people hear me and they say my name is Taibu Muad'Dib, they hear they still hear, they're like, oh, where's that come from? When you change, it's like it's the craziest thing. But the acknowledgement is priceless. The acknowledgement, because when you speak my name, you speak in a particular language, a language that was forbidden to be spoken when we first came. So whether they like it or not, at my level of the game, like they're dealing with it. They have what they're going to do. So I think that he makes the stronger argument. Don, you there? Don.
Yeah, I'm there. I was just they were telling about Hamlin and how he improved, how his condition improved.
Man, I don't believe the media, so but I'm
No, these the
it's good
doctors.
news. It's good news, but I don't trust the media though. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm saying the real doctors that are working with him are on here telling me. Real live doctors. Look.
Okay. Well, we still praying for that young man making full recovery. That's what's up. As you can see, the brother Malcolm is dropping these gems. All right. What is he saying? He's saying that it's time to grow up. If you grow up and realize that you're not a kid anymore, you're a free grown person, what are you going to do to express your freedom? For real. What are you going to do to express your freedom? You're free now, Don. You know, what are you going to do? What's the first thing you should do to express your freedom once you realize you're a free person?
Change my name.
Man, choose what people call you.
Yeah.
You make the choice. If your parents were still asleep and they named you Ian McKenzie, slap them and then go change your name. No, I'm just kidding. Don't slap your parents though. If you're an African person, you try and do something different, and you just ghetto fabulous, and you name your son Javante, you know, or something like that.
I see
You
you.
name your daughter Takesha. What are you doing? Their last name is still Harden. Their last name is still, you know.
What's up?
Shay Houston, everybody.
What's up, everybody?
All right. So I had Malcolm X up on the screen. I was doing the screen share thing for him, make sure everybody knew what it was. I had to break it, but the African family thing going on down there. So I was trying to teach. Okay. So we got Shazy. You want to break down your right or wrong segment for us? What's going on?
So today's right or wrong segment, we have a guy and a girl, they a couple, and I guess he fell on like hard times or whatever, and he asked her if she could go 50-50 on the bills, which he had been paying all the bills or whatever.
Okay.
So her response to that is different than what you would assume, you know. So I want to get y'all feedback on what goes down. So is it clear?
No, he's talking to somebody. He muted himself. All right. Okay. Let's go.
Okay. You sure? No, because it ain't red.
Screen share.
Hey.
Yeah. Man, I'm
I
ready.
know. It's like it's late.
It's super late. Let's go.
All right, now here goes.
House for the past year. You know what I'm saying? I told you I was like, put at work. Can you go 50-50 with me? Let's get back on my feet. Can you go 50-50 with me? What's wrong with that? What you mean you can't? Man, I'm telling you right now that I lost hours at work. Get rid of the job. You want to work all day? You want to work all day?
I mean, how much time you gonna pay?
Man, how about you go 50-50 with me?
I'm saying though, like,
Man, you tripping. Like, come on, man. This is bullshit.
so
Like,
like you
all
can
right.
try.
Why you got a problem with it?
You don't have to be there.
Fam, stop negotiating. She says she don't want to do 50-50. Cool. You leave and go pay 100% of a place that you can afford with the hours you have. And she can start paying 100% of her own shit.
I've been paying $8 bills in this house for the past year. You know?
So,
Wow.
what do y'all think about that?
That's deep.
Did you hear it, Don Rico?
Yeah, I heard it.
What's your thoughts on that?
I already live by myself and pay 100%. So I don't even need to go through the drama with somebody that want to be a freeloader or whatever you call them, or they don't want to hold their weight, or they don't want to be responsible and be grown. You know, that's a turnoff. A woman that has no responsibility and wants you to carry her weight. Vice versa. I know it's a turn off to women too. When they get a bum that don't want to pay no bills and wants to leech on them, and you know,
But they're raising them though. They're raising them that way though.
that's messed up.
They taking care of them and they daddy, so they raising them like that. You know. So the next generation of women, what they gonna do? They ain't gonna have no choice. They raising a young man down here like that.
Hey, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna live in my own house. I'm gonna pay my own bills. I ain't gonna have to worry about none of it. I'm the sergeant, the captain, and the motherfucking lieutenant of this motherfucker. Oops, I'm sorry, my bad. My bad. I'm sorry. I got a little excited, man.
So
I got excited.
what you saying is that she's wrong.
Yeah, she ain't pulling that weight.
But I don't know, Shay. You know my neck be hurt if you sit behind me. So I mean, Don Rico, I know you the people's choice and all that, man. I got much respect for you. But I don't know if I can say that she's wrong on this one. I think you tricked daddy, limp nose, goofy at, you know what I'm saying? I think you marks out there that lead with your dollars should get some game about yourself. Now my man Don Rico said suck it to his pocket. Now, if you approach a chick like that, you know what I'm saying? You know she ain't nothing but a gold digger and shit. She ain't nothing but a leech. And you ain't gonna put yourself in that situation. You know what I'm saying? Also, Don Rico, if you watch my first 100 episodes, right before I went into past 100, we're not talking that one time about not dating prostitution, but I was basically saying that like if a person goes into an agreement paying, why should they be asked to stop? You know what I'm saying? Why if you come in like I'm gonna take care of you, if you switch up, that's you basically breaking the unspoken agreement. So I really can't say that she's wrong if you come in the game to spend time with her, you know, dating prostitution. He was involved in dating prostitution the whole time. You know what I'm saying? He was prostituting himself with his dollars to her. So you want to switch the agreement up, you interchangeable. You know what I'm saying? Bottom line. So I mean, you know, that just is what it is. If you go in for an emotional attachment, there's ways to establish that. When you agree, it's definitely not buying stuff for people. That's just buying you. What my man there is access to the womb. You just buy access to the womb, fam. That's
So
real.
that's what he came in. Dude,
Clearly, he said you didn't hear him say he's been paying bills for the last year. Let's try it again.
I heard him say that.
Yeah. So
But has he been trying to get her Has he been trying to get her to help, or has he just been, whatever you call it?
No, he just said his hours got cut, so he wasn't making what he was making.
Oh, well, she got to dish
But the
in on
problem is, everybody, that he thought it was love, but it was just dating prostitution.
I'm sure it was.
So,
It definitely wasn't no love.
what you think? You think it was love?
Lust.
He was clearly in love because he went and embarrassed himself.
Yeah. But to me, she wrong. It's like if yo I ain't gonna lie with you.
If
If
I've
yo
been paying all this year,
Yeah,
my
I'm just
hours is
saying. And
cut.
if he asks you to help and
You
for
can't help,
y'all,
then you gotta go.
it's like that's just crazy to me. I don't
No,
know.
no.
What knowing.
Cause Shay, listen. If I get in a relationship with you and I'm really down for poly, but you like I want to have a monogamous relationship, Don Rico, hold me down on this one. If we get into it and I'm down with poly, but I'm not saying nothing to you, or maybe I was intending to be. Matter of fact, this is a better example, Don Rico. I was intending to be faithful from the door. But along the way, I meet a shorty and she say that she's bi. So me having a girlfriend ain't gonna bother. That's not gonna bother her. Now I got poly on my mind. So I come to you like, well, what's up? Why can't we do some poly stuff? She thinks you cute. I show you a picture of my phone. She think you cute. You know what? Why wouldn't you want to just try to have me have both of y'all together? You know what I'm saying? Like why? So that's what he's doing, just in the monetary sense. Financially, no matter what the reason he wants to change it up, he wants to change up the agreement. You see what I'm saying? It's just me and you. We faithful to each other. We loyal. We monogamous. But I meet a chick and she like, that's okay. You have a girlfriend. I want to meet her. And now I'm like, well, I can have both of them. You know what I'm saying?
Where is this going?
I'm telling you right now, that's how you saying she's wrong, and I'm saying that how can she be wrong when she's telling them to keep the original agreement?
It wasn't no contract signed.
What I'm saying is we don't have one either. So if I came to you, you willing to consider it? Because you want her to consider he came Don Rico. You know how Don, you know how the conversation went, fam. You know how it went, right? Hey, shorty, I'm having money. Let me take you to the mall. Get to the mall. Oh, you got a little bag then. Oh, okay, yeah. I'll take care of you though. You should rock with me. It's not her fault his hours got cut, that he didn't see that coming.
But now what they gonna do? Get kicked out because she don't want to help? Or what?
Or even if he move out, what's she gonna do?
She told him he don't have to be there. She gonna go into her roster.
I roll out. Bye. Go on your roster.
It's something that she was gonna do to me.
And then somebody was like in the comments, first of all, if you paying all the bills, why y'all walls is pink? Why you couldn't decide on what color the walls was gonna be?
Wow. Man.
I mean, pink walls, coming home to that every day.
Hey. They said this show is You a Mess, ain't it?
Man.
Is that the topics or is that the name of the show?
Both.
You a Mess.
But Don Rico, have you ever been in a situation yourself?
Nope. I pay my own way. That's why I don't. Yeah, where somebody wouldn't help out?
Where
I'm not paying all the bills of me and a female living together. We split it up, hands down. I might pay a little more than her, but for the most part, she dishing in. She doing something. She ain't gonna be over here skating for freezy.
Not skating for free.
Not the freeski deeski.
So
look, she want to skate for free, right? But then she take her money and go shopping and
Photo
go to the
shoots,
club
photo
and go
shoots.
out to eat clothes. Oh, where you get the new heels from? Oh, I got these from Louis. They were 1900. You ain't paid a dime on the rent. No, we ain't doing that, fam. It just ain't gonna happen.
So both of y'all, the wait is over, right? So it's time to grow up. Let's go to you first, Don Rico. When do you really feel like you have started to grow up? What was your age and when and how? Tell us how you came into that fresh mind. How did you know?
Really, really grow up and just be responsible with bills and all that, or just period.
Flat out adulting, bro. Like really know that you mature
I
now.
mean, I had my first crib when I was 19, paying
Okay.
bills, doing all that, taking care of kids. You know what I'm saying? At
Okay.
20, I had my first kid. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it's like I've been have to be, I've been have to be, you know, responsible for the longest. I ain't never been evicted. Ain't none of that going on. You know what I'm saying?
Tell them about that thing, Rico.
You know what
So
I'm saying?
So was there a particular instance when you knew like something that you experienced when you knew you handled it like a mature adult versus just the young wild you?
Yeah, when me and one of my exes was living together, things weren't going good. She wasn't bringing nothing to the table. It was no sense in it. I just packed up and left, because she wanted to do other things, and then she still wasn't bringing nothing to the table. So, and then I left everything in the crib. That's how player I was about it.
Player,
I had brand new furniture, flat screens on every wall, all that, and I was
player.
gone. And guess what? This was even more player, right? Once she moved out, I moved back in. Hey, hey, yeah, man. I don't, you know.
Don Rico said he kept the crib and got rid of the crab. You something else, bro. You a beast. Shay, how about you? When do you believe that you actually, hit your stride and became more mature and you started handling things from a more mature standpoint, like a grown up?
Like you said, when you moved out and you get your own place, and them bills is on a consistent basis, and you having to keep up with them, and you know. And I was 19 when I moved out, so yeah.
I'm gonna give both of y'all a chance to change them BS stories for our shame to both of you.
What are you talking about?
I mean, just paying bills doesn't make you
Hey,
mature. I mean, knowing that if you basically don't pay this phone bill, your phone gonna get cut off. That don't make you a mature. I don't mean you handle because you went on to have a half of a football team. Basically, well, you got a starting lineup. You got a soccer team, football team, whatever you kind of team you want, you have enough people on it. Volleyball team, you got enough folks.
hey,
You didn't went out there and you went out there and did that, and so both y'all at them first crib phases, y'all wasn't really doing handling mature stuff.
So what are you
that
talking?
hey, the
So y'all
situation.
tell me y'all look back on y'all 19-year-old self and y'all was really mature and adult.
No,
Oh, okay.
that
I
story
was
I just
putting on
hey,
my head.
that story I just told you. I wasn't 19. That was another situation. I said I had my own crib at 19. You said tell you about a situation where you handle it like an adult, and I gave you a situation. It was years and years later. You can't get me with the shame, man.
I'm like, wow, 19 is real
He
young
just
to
was
act
I
like
trying to
said I
find a
had my
reason to pull it out.
I
nah,
said I had
Was
my
nah,
trying to
first
nah,
crib
find a
at
reason to
19.
pull
nah,
it out.
nah, nah. That definitely isn't the case. I was just trying to check the temperature to see if y'all was really into the topic. Because Don Rico, did I start the show off with Malcolm X and what was he talking about? Our names, right?
Yeah.
So how come we've been free for how many years, Shay? About 100. The Juneteenth is 100. Yeah, 1890 something. So it's a little over 100 years we've been free as a people legally. And then, you know, it's been about 40 or 50 years since segregation ended, right?
Yeah.
So we free. How the commercials say free. But we still rocking these slave names. Now you don't see nobody going to the store like, man, how come y'all ain't got no Carl Kanai up in here? But your name is still Stephanie Johnson. Your name is still Jill Underwood, whatever the case may be. Dark as a berry. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about midnight black. You know.
Dark as a berry.
Yeah, your name is Mary Smith. I'm just keeping it real. The wait is over. You know, we should all be Malcolm X's out here. We should all have an X behind our last name, unless you change your name like I did to Taibu Muad'Dib. Thank you very much. I'm just saying, if your ID has a slave owner's last name, you still are property. You walk around acting like you really doing something, but you're still property. Hold it down. You know about that? Yeah, my thing takes it up. So that's how I feel about it. I think that people need to go ahead and really, you know, make that transition. Or you're still 19 in your first house. What do you think about that, Rico?
Man.
I'm saying was that connect those two things together?
Yeah, you connected them together. Everybody got different ages what they mature though. Women mature faster than men.
I debunked that whole theory a few episodes ago. In what way? In what measurable way? People have been saying that. In what measurable way? That's the same as women saying all men are dogs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm talking about like in what measurable way are women maturing faster than men?
They just do, man. There's some are more responsible than men earlier in age. Young female is quicker to go get a crib than a young dude.
Really?
Don Rico, man. You the people check. I respect you, dog. We gotta give you a little this action right here. Listen to me, bro. If you get saddled with a baby, and the guy that got you pregnant don't never call you back, and you don't know how to get a hold of him, does that make you more mature than him? No. You just saddled with a responsibility, and he
just got stuck. You the joke's on you, Jack.
I don't know what do you think about that? I'm just saying, like, just because you saddled with this human being yet you have to take care of now by yourself, does that make you more mature than the other half that y'all both immature made it in the dark or in the light? Who knows?
When do you say that you matured? At what age was you?
What I'm saying is that it just doesn't make no sense what Don Rico said to say that women mature. I want to know in what measurable way can anybody? That's like an urban myth or something. Like it's not really true. I debunked that. Myth? Yeah, women are. I heard it too, Don Rico. But I'm just saying, where's the measurables? In what way? Women's having sex faster than men. Because they have 100% approval. So as soon as they're ready to give it up, Don Rico, when we was young, when we wanted to get some, we had to go over the hill and through the woods. And look, shout out to all the fools that popped their cherry and got that thing off with a Gila monster. You know what I'm saying? Let's just keep it real. Just to get on the board, bust down less desirable. I'm just saying. So where's the maturity level at? Because females is definitely giving it up faster. Oh yeah, at younger age, giving it that. Because as soon as they decide to, who gonna tell them no? Don Rico. As soon as that 17, 18-year-old girl decide to give it up, who gonna say no to her? Who gonna be like, nah, shorty, you too young or you too ugly or whatever? Who gonna say that? Nobody.
A grown man gonna say he better or he gonna be in trouble.
It's just not happening. Because in the state of Georgia, the consent age is 16. The state of Kentucky is consent age is 50. It's different things in different states.
Oh, okay.
Well,
hey, I'm checking out because I'm falling asleep on y'all.
I took a nap and then I was like, oh shit, I forgot about
I'm falling asleep on y'all, and I don't want to be snoring on live. I'll really be embarrassed.
Shoot, I was up here nodding off like I was all hair on. Like,
hey, you see, I kept disappearing out the camera.
Nah, it's all good.
I'm tired, and then I got in that hot tub, man, and it just like relaxed everything. I'm like, I'm just ready to go to sleep.
That's how I be off this DJ Screws.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But look, on the real to real, we all hop up out of here, man, because it definitely is that time. I just wanted you to know, Don Rico, this is Taibu Muad'Dib right here, locking the relationship podcast game down. Think it through Thursday, man. I do it for the people, man. Look, it's time to wake up. It's time to grow up. Yes, it's time to grow up, Shay Houston. Shay, I'm still a property to the Houston slave owning family, Houston.
What? Really?
Oh man.
Oh, so if I come a Muad'Dib, then I won't be.
I mean, how can you be? How many Europeans you know, Don Rico, to have that? But look, okay, before you go, Don Rico, we had this debate. Do you know any Europeans with an African last name? Like an indigenous African last name? Igbo, Zulu. Have you ever met a European whose last name was Tanzania?
No, I haven't. But
not one.
Listen.
Not one.
But,
no, because you almost 52, fool.
Listen.
You know a lot of Europeans.
Damn, almost 50. Don't push my age up.
Living spaces outlet.
Bro, really?
My bad. That was random.
Free promo?
That was random.
No, but I know this African guy that married a European woman up here, and I'm pretty sure she got his last name. But I don't know for sure.
Do you know any European men that married an African chick and took on her last name?
No.
Who does that?
I don't know, man. I'm half asleep. What you said? Do I know any European chick?
I said, do you know any European men that married an African chick and took on her African last name?
Oh no.
Look, D Flan, this episode was for you. I'm gonna make sure I send this link out to D Flan because he got all in a bunch about me telling him that it was ridiculously idiotic to say he's Black Irish when we predate them. So if their last name should be what your African last name is, because we came first, not the other way around. Let's get it going. You know the vibes. Let's get it going, Don Rico. We out of here. You know how it sounds. Let's go. Stay on here because you know you want to catch you a blessing, Don Rico, this week.
Hey.
It's the New Year's. It's the first week of Year of Mess. Everybody know what it is.
Hey.
Thank God that I'm blessed.
Philly still
even though I'm a mess.
Thank God.
Thank God that I'm blessed, even though I'm a mess. Thank God. Thank God. Thank God. Thank y'all for tuning in, man, to the one and only podcast, You're a Mess. Wait till we get a couple of folks up in here so I can shame them live. Ain't that gonna be it?
No.
I'm excited to shame some fools live, not the shame bag. It's hot and it's on and it's popping. I got some things to do right now. Y'all go ahead and drink up for me. Thank y'all for staying awake with me on tonight. Barely staying awake. I know that's right. Taibu Muad'Dib, if you want to be on the show, if you want to make sure that you come out of a mess, avoid a mess, and find something healthy, go to patreon.com/Coach Taibu. We're bringing the First Step online coaching program up to get you guys ready to do something spectacular in 2023. Hear the story, listen to the lady. It's dope. I'm out.